Hey, Morgan, there's a plane way up there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Ready?
right.
Somebody's getting dropped off at the front door right now.
That's all right. We can do it real quick.
Okay. All right.
Ready?
Come on. Yep.
Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of The Dig, a series dedicated to helping you improve profitability on your farm.
Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to be a PFR employee? Well, boy, do we have the perfect episode for you today. Basically, we're looking at a day in the life of a PFR employee. I'm Aaron. This is Collin. Let's dig in.
Hey, you guys about done yet? Because we have a lot of work to go do right now.
We got to get an intro done.
Yeah.
Oh, intros.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm the OG Collin. He's the better looking and the smarter Collin.
2.0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come along with
Okay,
us. We're
let's
going to go inside and get to work.
Just a splash.
So PFR is not always outside working in the fields. Sometimes we have to come in the office and do some work in here. So today we're going to be putting together some of these new dealer onboarding folders, okay? And this is going to be packed full of PFR information for the dealers that are joining our network. So follow along with us as we pack these folders.
We've got a meeting, unfortunately, so we'll be back.
All right, let's get at it.
Now we can finally go to work.
Let's do it.
All right, so Blackford, taking the hopper to town with the
Right.
corn from last night. Then we'll come back, load the beans out of the grain cart, get all that squared away.
Yep.
Before he gets back, though, let's go do some pre-harvest obs on some of the beans we're gonna cut today.
Okay. Grab clipboard.
All right, so first thing this morning, we need to get rid of the corn that we shelled last night. So we shelled later into the evening last night and the elevator's closed. So this morning, we're gonna go ahead and take this load to the elevator, get it taken care of there and bring the truck back and then dive back in on corn and beans. So here we go.
Nope, not yet. Nope, not ready yet. Not quite. Yeah, so what we're doing here, we've got a 30-inch plant and a 15-inch plant out of our planting date, which we're gonna cut today. Just doing some pod counts, looking at 30s, 15s in different planting dates here. So that is what we are doing. We always try to get a little bit of observations before we go cutting some of these. What do you want to do now? Go over and see the beans we're going to cut first around the gate.
Yeah.
And look at that.
Spotting in steady.
Yep.
I like that idea.
Nope.
Tag along.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Blackford is dumping a little bit of corn that's stuck in the bottom of the hopper back into the field, because we're gonna rip it anyways, and we don't wanna mix the corn with the beans. Once he's done with that, we're gonna unload the beans into the hopper bottom so we can take those to town.
So like most farming operations, we have to kind of jockey stuff around a lot, right? We just took a load of corn in on the hopper bottom. We're actually gonna leave it here for the bean combine with this plot, this bean plot here. We took beans off of the grain cart onto the hopper bottom, so it's beans now. We're gonna take the grain cart back to the shop and we're gonna dive into some corn, pick corn on the grain cart. So we'll hop in that and take it back.
Glass cleaner.
What are you doing up there, bud?
Well, I was gonna clean this front windshield, but I don't need glass cleaner.
boy, do I have something for you.
You're incredible.
I know you sparked your east last night.
Yeah, that's, burn the dew off in the morning, from the sun coming up in the east. What are some things you guys do at the end of the day? Comment below.
All right, you go ahead and get that thing cleaned. I'm gonna check the oil.
Hey, I would appreciate it if you did that.
This old girl, she's been a good combine. She's got quite a few hours on her, so likes to use the oil a little bit, so we like to check it quite frequently, and she could probably use a little. So, anybody else keep oil in an old chemical jug, or just me? No? Okay. 10 out of 10 chance I spill at least a little bit of this.
It doesn't matter how busy we are with harvest, spring, doesn't matter. We always make time to come down to the Corn Crib Cafe and get some lunch.
All right, so the sun's out, the dew's burned off, we're ready to go shell some corn, but first, we'll do some maintenance on this real quick, just some greasing and whatnot. And then I'll actually explain the weigh system on this combine and then this new head that you're looking at here that we're trying out for this year. So let's get in there. As you've seen, walking around the combine, this entire combine, all the way up until this point, is just your normal combine that you can buy at a dealership, right? So this is what farmers use. It's a smaller version of a lot of farms around here, but we had to go with the smaller one because we have smaller plots, right? But it's a commercial combine, all the way up until this point here where it's actually a little bit different. So what you're looking at here is a weigh system that we've worked with an engineer and a fab shop to design this weigh system that perfectly fits down in this 5088. Beforehand in PFR, we had to have weigh carts on each end of a plot, and we would go through the plot, dump on one end, get the weight, get the moisture, go back through, dump on the other end, get the weight, get the moisture, right? And that took a lot of time doing it that way. But with these in here, we can actually buzz through the plot a little bit longer and just re-tear the scale as we go through. So this smaller hopper here is actually on some load cells that read to a scale head up in the cab. And that's how we get the weights on our plots. As you guys saw, back up there on the back of the combine, we have that weigh system that's dropped down into the hopper of this combine. So that's the load scales are gonna weigh that and feed that into this scale head right here. What we're gonna see is that the weight of that entire pass that we made will come up here and we can record that on this scale head. So you guys saw the weigh system up in the hopper of this combine. Something else that's not really unique because you can buy this out in the market, but something else that we're running on this combine here in Atlanta this year is this Maya corn head. So it's actually a chopping corn head. We worked with the Maya guys to get this and test it out on the plots. So the way we set up these plots, we have an 8-row planter. Our corn planter is 8 rows. So we plant these plots in 8-row sections in our 8-row tests. Then we come through later on with that fungicide application, and we're trying to spray just the center 4 of the 8 rows. As you can imagine, there's always some drifting as we're spraying this fungicide, right? So it might get on the study next to it. So within the 8 rows, we want to just shell the center 4. That way we can rule out the tests next to them maybe affecting that certain test. So right now you can see that we're taking only 4 rows. It's because it's the center 4 rows of the 8 rows. We're gonna go down taking data, and then when we come back we take another 4 rows. That's gonna be the remainder of this pass. So you could say row 7 and 8, and we're taking the first 2 off the next pass, which would be 1 and 2, and then that leaves open the next study or the next test of 4 rows.
That's it. We're rolling. Beans ready to cut. Let's do it. So this plot I'm doing now is our residue management plot. So looking at residue products sprayed in the fall. So the fall of 2023 and then the spring of 2024. So getting out there as early as we possibly can and spray those. The products we're using is BioReverse from the Andersons. We've tested it for the last couple years. And then 30 units of UAN. So in our case, 28%. We hope to, we're honestly at the end of the day, we're looking at, these different products to help, activate the microbial action in the soil, right? And so, trying to get those going to munch on that residue to break that down, so we have, again, better emergence of soybeans the next year. That's what we're looking at.
All right, so I finally got Blackford kicked out of the combine, so I can actually come enjoy some seat time. And I'm gonna actually be starting to harvest our starter fertilizer by planting date study. So if you've ever wondered, is starter fertilizer in furrow specifically more beneficial maybe earlier in the season or later in the season? That's what we're trying to figure out in this study. Looking at an earlier, cooler, wetter planting date, and then a later, warmer temperature, maybe not quite as saturated soils planting date. And so yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and dive in. I gotta peel off some junk rows here real quick so that I can get the data rows in the middle of the set, but we'll get fired up. So in this study, kind of similar to what I think you saw with Blackford when you're riding with him, we're just harvesting the center 4 of these 8-row passes. That way we make sure that there's no bleed through from the no starter fertilizer and actual starter fertilizer passes. And that way we're just, getting the true data at that point. So we're actually kind of primitive here, and we're just using an iPad with Excel to keep track of weights, and then we go ahead and post-process that in our own program that we have. I think what's really cool to point out is the difference between PFR and maybe more of what you see with like university type research, right? A lot of times university you see small plots, tiny little equipment. We're out here with a 5088 case combine with an 8-row corn head, right? It's something similar to what a farmer would run, and that's kind of what sets PFR apart from a lot of other research in my mind is, we're not quite doing field scale type research, but we're a lot bigger than, 2 rows at 20 foot long or something like that. All right, well, I'll be shelling this for just a little bit longer, but I think we're gonna go catch up with the other guys here in a few and go see what they're up to.
All right, so talked a little bit earlier about that residue management on soybeans. So I've got that data here. So the cool thing about PFR is we have our own internal program, okay? And so within this program, as long as we have, again, the weights, the moistures, the harvested length, we could plug everything into it on every single pass that we make, okay? So I mentioned before, this study had bi-reverse from the Andersons, 30 units of UAN. So every single pass that we made out there, we have a column in here. So we can type in the moisture, we can type in the weight, and then type in the harvested length across the whole entire thing, and then that will spit out the yield. And then we'll spit it into an Excel sheet, make those multi-year graphs that you guys see in the PFR book, and then we send those to our graphic designers. Those are, the over in marketing, they're the ones that are making those graphs, making those pages. They'll take the data after we run it and create those pages, which is in turn creates the book, right? And so that's what I'm gonna do here probably for the rest of the day. As Collin's gonna start cutting beans, so as he starts cutting them, he'll email me these sheets, and I'll be able to keep going as he cuts the beans through the night. So yeah, that's what the rest of my night looks like.
Well, everybody, we hope that you have enjoyed tagging along with the PFR crew today. Hopefully you got a little bit of an understanding of what it's like to, day to day with PFR. With that being said, unfortunately the camera guys have to take off, but we're just gonna keep shelling some corn and cutting some beans tonight, kind of the same old you guys have seen, so you're not gonna miss out on too much.
We would also like you to comment below on some of the things you guys are most excited about to see from the PFR data this year.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that little. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And what's the hit the bell? And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get notifications when future videos come out. I'm Collin.
And I'm Aaron.
And I'm the OG Collin.
We'll see you guys on another episode of
The Dig!
I think he's gunning for your job, bud.
Hey, if I'm never around, there's always gonna be a Collin that can be on board.
I gotta yell a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, you gotta yell loud.
I'm
you gotta screw up a bunch.
Yeah.
One Collin's hard enough to deal with. This whole 2 Collin thing.
Perfect. So if you want to talk to kids